Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome once again to the video series Challenge Accepted, where you, the viewers, leave comments for the next video suggestion. The comment with the most likes, by making it to the top comment spot, will be the next Challenge Accepted video. With that being said, let's discuss the topic at hand, which is this challenge video. Deadfoe77 suggests, make a video of a round with only the Deagle 50. Desert Eagle 50. Knife kills are not allowed. You choose the map. Good luck. Thumbs up if you like the power of the Deagle 50. Smiley face with an open mouth. So thank you very much Deadfoe77 for the video suggestion, as well as you 17 others who liked his comment. This is for you guys, and consider this challenge accepted. Of course, for those of you not familiar with it, the actual version of the Desert Eagle that I am using, or the Deagle 50 that I'm using, is actually the Steel Deagle 50. There is no major difference between the regular Deagle 50 and the Steel Deagle 50, other than its visual purpose of it looking silver versus the black design. I know a lot of you newcomers to Battlefield Play for Free are asking yourself how to obtain the Steel Deagle 50. Well, unfortunately, the way you had to obtain it was you had to be around during the time that the Deagle 50 was actually released in Battlefield Play for Free, because they were giving out trial codes for people to use the actual Deagle, and you had to reach a certain amount of kills in order to obtain the Steel Deagle 50 for free. So of course I decided to use this one because I got the Deagle 50 for free, and not only that, I really haven't paid for the original Deagle 50, you know, and I don't have it for any other class other than my Recon, so I decided to just do it on my Recon class. Of course, I decided to up the ante for difficulty for using the Deagle 50, even though it does have a lot of power behind it at closer ranges. It is kind of hard, and you do need a trained eye to maintain accurate shots, but even at longer ranges, or even from medium ranges, firing this pistol can be quite tedious and difficult, and you will be found short-handed when engaging your enemies. So, you know, the difficulty comes in when I decided to play on Karkand to do this challenge. So, you know, it adds an element of interest and difficulty for me to do it. So, it was very appealing and a challenge. Of course, I do love the Deagle 50 a lot in Battlefield Play for Free, but of course I do find it to be a bit buggy, especially when it's trying to register shots sometimes. I don't know if that's due to the fact of its bullet deviation or having to pace your shots. Even then, it's still buggy sometimes when you're firing at enemies up close or at farther ranges, especially if you're trying to fire as fast as you possibly can. Of course, even though this challenge accepted video was just to do the Steel Deagle 50 by itself without knifing or anything like that, I do accidentally hit the knife button out of reflex. So I hope you guys forgive me for that and just hopefully subtract that off my KD ratio. Of course, the type of playstyle that I went with this, due to the fact that I was Recon, I decided to take more of the side road approaches rather than the direct approaches, just because of the simple fact that the more direct approaches in Karkand, you know, from each flag point, have big open spaces, and you definitely do not want to get caught in the open and in a medium to long range combat situation with the Deagle 50. Even though it has a lot of power behind it, you have to maintain some pretty accurate headshots. And not only that, but at those distances, the Deagle 50 does have a bit of a sway when aiming down the iron sight, and the sight can be off at times. I don't know why I decided to use hip fire on that part. It just didn't stay accurate, especially from that range. I should have just aimed down sight. So, prime example to keep in mind when using the gun. Don't use hip fire, especially when someone's behind cover. Of course, the teammates that I had were doing an awesome job capturing flags and maintaining positions, as well as having good offensive pushes and, you know, defending flags when needed. So it was really nice to see a team operate like this. When I use the Deagle 50, sometimes I like to mix it back and forth with the type of fire I'll use, just for the simple fact that, you know, aiming down sight, you know, I hate the kick up on the gun. It seems to be a little bit more powerful than some of the other rifles, but that doesn't mean it's not as manageable. It's just sometimes I feel like I have to pace my shots a little bit more between each, you know, round fired from the gun when I'm aiming down sight. Hip fire, even though it still does have some pretty high recoil, you know, I feel like it's still manageable, and I don't have the entire gun, you know, getting in the way from the recoil when aiming down sight. Some of the maps that I have a lot of fun on when using the Deagle 50 are going to either be Myanmar or Sharky, just for the simple fact that those maps are smaller close quarters maps, and you know, due to the close range engagements that you're going to be getting into with infantry, you know, the power of the Desert Eagle does come in handy, especially if you're maintaining headshots, because you can get into the top leaderboard spot easily and compete with some of the other primary class weapons, even with their attachments. Even though a lot of people tend to use the Rex for its sheer power, and it still has the relative same amount of accuracy for its first initial shot, the Deagle 50's nice aspect is the fact that it has a faster rate of fire per click in comparison to the Rex. So if you still want something that's powerful but is considered a pistol, the Deagle 50 is definitely that pistol to suit that need. Of course, you can get away with using the Deagle 50 on the medium-sized maps, just for the simple fact that if you're very careful in advancing from position to position and using cover wisely, you definitely can maintain a competitive KD ratio there too. It's just a little bit more difficult, but one of the tactics that I tend to use is just staying close to walls and, you know, jumping around corners and engaging your enemy at the right time. You know, it's a matter of knowing when to strike. Of course, the larger maps like Omen and Dalian are definitely not the Deagle's strong-suited map, just for the simple fact that the Deagle is a sidearm and it's, you know, intended to be as such for closer range engagements. But I mean, some of the other maps that tend to be really difficult to use the Deagle 50 on is definitely Dragon Valley. And the reason why I say that is because Dragon Valley, you know, between those flag points, you know, it's realistically like medium range combat scenarios. You know, the Deagle 50 does have a short initial range, you know, for doing its high damage, and then medium range it's kind of like meh damage, and then farther range it's like 15 damage, you know, average per hit on the torso. And Dragon Valley is definitely that map that's just suited between each flag point to be nothing but medium range combat scenarios, until you finally reach that point, and then you will have certain spots that are close quarters, but for the majority of the map it will be medium range combat. Deadfo77, this is my apology for the knife kill, so I hope this makes up for it. So I hope you enjoyed that little moment there. Even though I do feel like I reload pretty frequently with the Deagle 50, I do enjoy the fact that you do get a decent amount of bullets with it, so you don't feel like you run out of ammo very fast with this sidearm, which is extremely nice. So that's the other thing I can appreciate about the Deagle 50, especially since it's a very powerful close-up pistol. In all honesty, I think the Desert Eagle 50 is a pistol that is a must-have for any class, really, just for the simple fact that once you actually get to the level to unlock it, you know, it's just a really nice gun and sidearm to have that's just filled with power, accuracy, and a good rate of fire. Not to mention you feel like a boss when you're wielding it, versus the Rex where you feel more like a Russian cowboy. And that's kind of all I got about the Deagle 50 here and playing it on Karkand. So I thank you very much, Deadfo77, as well as you 17 others who liked his comment. This was actually a pretty fun challenge. Of course, I want to do one thing before I go. Someone actually sent me a fan letter, and he was very polite in asking this, so I do want to give a happy birthday to Bro Smith, which is actually Friday, so it should be today from the release of this video. So in case any of you see Bro Smith, wish him a happy birthday. So I hope you get an awesome cake and lots of battle funds for your birthday. That's all I have for this challenge accepted video. I will see you all next time.